Alright guys, welcome back to Hero-Villain Mashup, and this is, for those who don't know, this is basically where I take a hero or heroes from one universe and put kind of like a scenario and compare and contrast if they had to have this villain or villains from another universe be in their rogues gallery. Kind of like, what would it be like if this villain, like, let's say, I don't know, the Flash had to deal with Metal Sonic as one of his rogues galleries. That's an example. So as you can see from the title, yeah, what would tongue-tied. Basically, Randy Cunningham have to deal with the Rogues from the Flash comics, not CW version of the Rogues, because that's technically still being built. But yeah, the comic book Rogues gallery from the Flash comics, and for all intents and purposes, I'm going to go with pre-52. I know they got their powers back in the Forever Evil storyline, where they lost their powers and got their classic guns back and all that. But this is more I wanted to go with pre-52 since I'm more I'm more used to that lineup, because I think they changed it recently. I can't remember. I haven't been reading the new 52 for many different reasons. But enough about that. So what would it be like if Randy Cunningham had to deal with the Rogues, if they decided to come down to Norrisville, leave Keystone City, or, what if they had to leave Central City and came down to Norrisville? I could see it like maybe McFist, puts out a bulletin saying, hey, he puts out like a secret email to the Rogue saying, hey, I'll pay you such and such money if you can kill the ninja. And Captain Cold's like, alright. Now, the big thing is that a lot of people just think that the ninja is 800 years old, so we all know that, the Rogue, Captain Cold and the rest of the Rogues have, like, a set of rules. One of them is, don't kill women and children. And, try to abstain from killing in general, but, killing's only absolutely necessary. But, yeah, they don't, the one thing they don't do is kill women and children. Threatening them, not a problem. Killing them, that's a problem. But when they hear about the legend of the ninja, saying, "Oh, it's an 800-year-old mystical ninja," okay, we can beat the shit out of this guy and kill him. So they come down there, and these guys are very aggressive. These guys are an excellent team. I might even say that this is probably one of the best supervillain teams ever. Why? Why do I say this? Why do I say the Rogues probably one of the best, if not the best, put-together villain team ever? The reason being is because it's like a family. It's very much so like a family. It's not like with the Sinister Six where, they all follow Octavius or, whoever's running the Sinister Six at the time. It's more like, it's more like a family where, in most villain teams, they're either, they're a coordinated group, but they eventually get sick of each other and start attacking one another, or they're each trying to backstab one another. That's the bigger thing. That's one of the biggest problems with villain teams, is they all just kind of turn on each other eventually. So, yeah, we have this group of villains who are actually more like a family, because they're all kind of just run down. They each have their own, they've got each other's backs. They've been to prison together. They've shared a lot of hardships, and yeah. So they're very much like a tight-knit group. They're going to stick together and fight it out to the end. If you attack one, you attack all. That's kind of their rule. Now Randy's best known as the ninja to battle two things. He's best known for fighting two things: people who are turned into monsters, and robots. He's fought other things, but mainly he's never really fought full-on supervillains. He's never really had to contend with a full-on rogues gallery. He's never really had to fight, actual supervillains. If you don't count, not counting McFist and Viceroy, because they are, they're obviously villains. And yeah, the Sorcerer he had to battle, but regardless, he's mostly been known to fight, just mindless people who are turned into mindless monsters, and robots Viceroy sends after him. So to have him battle a group of very experienced villains who have experience with not just battling the Flash, but they've also taken on the Justice League, the Teen Titans, and yeah, they've got experience under their belt. So I think it would be hilarious. Like Randy would see them, first sight of these guys, and he would just bust out laughing because it's a bunch of guys in color-coded costumes who just use weapons. I think he would just look at it and go, "Really? Just really? You're going to come at me with a cold gun? And what is that? A flamethrower? Oh, this is hysterical." So Randy would definitely look at it like that, and then they would punch him. Then they would hit him with their weapons. Now, the big thing with the rogues they have over Randy is that, again, they have those numbers. You've got Captain Cold, Weather Wizard, Mirror Master, the Trickster, Heat Wave, and, of course, like I said, Captain Cold. And, they could even have the Top with them. If you want to go further, you got the Top and the Golden Glider. You've got those guys, Leonard's sister, like I said, Golden Glider, and the Top backing them as well. So it's a big group behind them. It's a very big group behind them. Even Captain Boomerang. Oh yeah, almost forgot Captain Boomerang. You've got these guys with very unique weapons who can, hold their own against a guy who can move faster than the speed of light. So you got that, Randy's got that going for him. And yes, he does have an seemingly endless amount of weapons. He's also a hand-to-hand fight. He's a great hand-to-hand fighter, but he gets a little too ahead of himself. Whereas the rogues keep their head in the game and they fight through. They don't argue. They have some arguing, but they mostly stay and follow. Snart's orders. They follow his directive, and while Randy just has himself. And when you're battling one guy who can, has a pair of guns that can, turn everything cold, below zero. You've got one guy who has a gun that can create, mirror versions of things and holograms, and another guy who has a wand that can control the weather. You're in for some shit. So Randy's would have to keep on his toes if he had to battle these guys. So they would, he would be constantly on his toes. They would always be on him, But I think they would be like, look, whoever you are, ninja, yeah, you leave us alone, we'll leave you alone. But of course, Randy wouldn't leave them alone and throw smoke bomb in their face and be like, okay, Pajama Guy's dead. So that's how it would look. Now, if they ever did find out that Randy was, the ninja was actually a kid, I think they would be like, oh my god, we just nearly killed a kid. So I think they would go, they would stop what they're doing and just, they would have beaten him up. But if they found out he was a kid, I think they would stop what they're doing and be like, oh Jesus, we nearly murdered a child. We need to stop now and leave before this gets really bad. So I think in the end, if the rogues did find out that Randy Cunningham was the age he is and not some 800-year-old mystical ninja, I think Randy's in for some a surefire beating from this, because it's him, and don't get me wrong, he does have some major experience under his belt, but really, he is gonna get the shit kicked out of him, guys. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Randy Cunningham can hold his own against the likes of the rogues, or do you think the rogues would beat the shit out of him? Just comment below, let me know. Comment below and let me know. And once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.